All right, fantastic. Hello, everyone. Opticians Association of America. Wow, what an exciting day this has been so far on this Sunday. Beautiful day from all over the country. And I'm so glad that you could join me today as we talk about an important topic that has really been a hot topic with the entire country, whether you're working in an educational institution, if you're basically working, in opticianry or optometry or not even the eye care field, accepting diversity, equity, inclusion. Am I there yet? I'm Phernell Walker. So glad to be here. I'm the Director of Optometric Relations with VSP Ventures. I'm also a member of the Vision Council. I serve on the National Academy of Opticianry Board of Directors proudly, and the American Board of Opticianry proudly. So glad to be here today. I want to take just a moment to do a housekeeping thing. What you're going to notice is if you look in the upper corner, most of you have already sat through a class already, you're going to see basically chat feature in an area for Q&A, I believe. And so you'll be able to just type in questions there. And I want to encourage you to maybe make comments, type in questions. And so all of us can share in that, right? Because I want to be inclusive. How about that? And hear what you're thinking and make you a part of the process. Also joining me today is an amazing moderator, my good friend, Sandy Brown, who also serves on the American Board of Opticianry as well as the OAA. So welcome everyone, so glad you could be here. So where is here? Well, for me, I'm in the Pacific Northwest, outside Portland, Oregon area, coming from Camas, Vancouver, Washington area, and that's beautiful Mount Hood there and the beautiful downtown Portland overlooking the area. So today we've got some crazy weather going on, like most of you during the week. So we're going to just jump right in. So again, glad to be here as we talk about this important topic. A lot of exciting things happened this week. Can you think of something that's exciting that happened this week? Maybe take a look at the screen. We landed on Mars. Yes, we landed on Mars. Can you believe that? Think about what that took to land on Mars in 2021. Now, we've done it before. We've been to Mars before, but unlike our other trips, this time we did some special things, okay? But think about that for just a moment. We took a rocket, assembled the rocket, designed it, put it together. Then we had to come up with what we want to send to Mars and put all of that packaged into the rocket. Somebody had to figure out how much fuel it would take to get to Mars. Wow, that journey took 7 months to go 300 million miles. Let me say that again. 300 million miles. Wow, that's crazy, right? 300 million miles. Not only did we send a rocket 300 million miles, we did it without being able to see where we were going. As a matter of fact, all this was planned in advance. The trajectory it took, the calculation, the team of people that it took to put that together is amazing, right? 7 months, 300 million miles. And not only that, we built a rover so it can roam the planet and send back not only images, because we've done that before, right? But also sound. So we can actually hear what it sounds like. That is amazing. Think about the team of people that it took to pull that off. Isn't that amazing? We are living in exciting times. Not only did they be able to do that, but they built a helicopter. People think I'm kidding when I say this. I'm not making this up, right? I didn't Photoshop what you're looking at right here and so forth. They built a helicopter to allow them not only to rove and drive around Mars, but to be able to fly around Mars, bring back not only samples at a future time, but also fly to a place, take photos, and transmit those back here 300 million miles away. Now, I know what many of you might be thinking. Phernell, have you gone crazy? Well, I haven't gone crazy yet. I'm still working on it. But I will tell you this. I will say that this relates to diversity, equity, and inclusion, because the team of folks that it took to do that was a diverse group of people: Black, white, Asian, Indian, gay, straight, older, younger, people from the South, people from the North, people from Latino, okay, Latin America community, okay, everybody. And if I missed anyone, I apologize, right? But a vast group of people came together. These are just some of the engineers. There were another like 300 other people that were involved in this mission. And it took them coming together in order to do the impossible. They dared to dream. They dared to dream, and dream big. I want you to think about that, what that took. NASA didn't come in and say, oh, I'm sorry, we can't hire you because you have a tattoo. Oh, I'm sorry, we can't hire you because you're a woman. There's no women engineers. Are you kidding me? I'm sorry, I can't hire you because you're a Black American, or you're too tall, too short, too fat. You don't fit in this box. You don't look like me, so you are not equal and you cannot contribute to the program. They didn't say that. They didn't say that at all. They did the opposite. And I'm going to explain why. I've had this conversation with many people around the country on the importance of diversity. I'm fortunate enough to work for a fantastic company that has diversity, equity, inclusion policies to ensure we work towards that goal. I'm fortunate enough to work and serve on the American Board of Opticianry that is a diverse group of people that come together with great leadership. Jim Morris, our executive director, and others, and Kurt Duff and Tom Barracotta and others on that board, to ensure that we all think through issues. They didn't say, hey, are you Black? Are you white? Are you Asian? Are you short? Are you fat? Are you tall? Are you gay, straight? Are you married, not married, or whatever? They don't care. Can you do the job? That's what we're talking about here. At NASA, they actually have a diversity inclusion policy, and not just a policy, but how they live this code. And that is, at NASA, we define diversity broadly as the universe of differences and similarities. Additionally, we define inclusion as the full participation, belonging, and contribution of organizations and individuals. Wow. When I researched that and I looked that up, that blew my mind, right? I started thinking about the possibilities. And I'm going to explain why that's important. I'm going to explain and share personal stories with you that may surprise you and actually bring you pause to think about this very, very important topic. And I hope it does. So we should celebrate, right? We should celebrate. If you are an American, if you are not even an American, if you are part of the human race, you should be celebrating right now that we accomplished such an amazing feat to search out for new life on another planet and to bring technology back here, which shows science is real, technology is real, and we are making progress towards human existence. That's exciting to me. That really really gets me excited that even through COVID, even through all of the ups and downs of 2020 was a hell of a year, right? It's a heck of a year, very difficult year. But you know what? We came together, we're doing it each and every day, and we're going to get through this together because that's what it takes. Differences, and I'm going to talk about that, being together. Now, as we take a look at this slide, some of you might look at this and say, oh, okay. Others may be a little uncomfortable with this slide. But I want to assure you that you shouldn't be uncomfortable. This is the world we live in, and it's okay, right? I'm going to give you a hint right now. Some of you may not know this. I'm actually a Black person. Yes, I know it's true. I am a Black American. It is true. But you know what? That doesn't enter my mind. That doesn't basically come to forethought with the people I interact with and so forth. Most people just think of me as Phernell, right? I have friends like Kurt Duff and Jim Morris and others out there, and Blair Wong and so forth. I don't have white friends. I don't have Black friends. And like Dr. Underwood, who's on today. Dr. Bill Underwood, just an amazing professor down in Florida. I have friends. I don't have Asian friends, Black friends, white friends. I just have friends. And that's how it should be. We need to get to a place where everybody contributes to the organization. Everybody contributes at their own level, and let people love who they want to love, be who they want to be, let them celebrate, and basically do the things they need to do to be productive members of the human race and society. That is so important. Now, that sounds like an easy thing, right? Phernell, of course, we do that today. We don't have any problems. I don't know if that's so true, right? So there are problems out there, believe it or not, and we're going to talk about some of them out there and so forth. So let people love who they want to love. Who cares? I don't care who you're married to or who you love. If you're Asian, Jewish, short, tall, white, Black, who cares, right? Who cares? Can you do the job, and how well can you do that job, and can you contribute? I'm going to pause right here, and I'm going to check with our lovely moderator, Sandy. Sandy, are there any questions or comments so far? Because I can't see them there.
Not yet for now.
Fantastic, fantastic. All right. So, Phernell, what are you talking about? What is diversity, inclusion, and equity? What's the big deal, man? What is the big deal? Well, it is a big deal. It's important, and you're going to see why. Well, I hope you see why. Some people, they may not see why. They may never ever see why, and that's okay too. We're going to bring along as many people as we can, and then history will take us and take care of the rest, right? So diversity, what is diversity? Diversity is a team or people comprised from various backgrounds, right? Maybe cultural backgrounds, maybe language backgrounds, maybe other types of backgrounds with gender, with race, with religions, right? I don't care what you believe, right? As long as you can get the job done, that's what's important to me. Can you contribute? Are you competent to add to our field so it's a productive and additive relationship? And if you're not there, maybe we get you there. We work with you and get them there. Inclusion. Well, I've had conversations with people, and they say, well, Phernell, isn't diversity inclusion? No, they're two different things. Diversity is being asked to go to the dance. Inclusion is being asked to dance. Do you see that? You see the difference? Inclusion is not just, basically, hey, we have John on our team, and John is Asian. See, we are diverse. Well, yes, you're diverse, but are you inclusive? Do you value John's input or Jane's input, right? Do you include them? Do you make them feel a part of the team? Or when they walk in the room and you're all laughing and there's a joke going on, maybe, and then, here comes John, right? So those are the kind of things that you need to think about and really adjust. Now, is every joke appropriate in every situation? No. Maybe you don't tell those jokes at work, right? Or even when you're not at work and so forth. Think about that, all the stakeholders. Everybody has a stake in the game. Consider ideas that don't originate in your own mind. Think about that. When they sent that rocket to Mars, I bet there was people in that room that said, now, wait a minute. You're going to fly a rocket 300 million miles in 7 months, and there's no camera and nobody driving the rocket? It's going to be on autopilot. Are you crazy? And you know what? They had to challenge those ideas, and that's okay. Ideas that don't originate in your mind are actually good. We need to challenge the past so we can make progress towards the future. Avoid the echo chamber. A lot of times companies may hire people, Sarah looks like us, so she thinks like us, so let's have Sarah on the team. Let's hire a bunch of Sarahs. A bunch of yes men and women can be a problem because you don't have new ideas. You don't have different ways of looking at perspective. We're going to talk about perspective, how important perspective is. I'm going to talk about binary thinking versus spectrum thinking. This is an important topic. I learned, going through MBA school and so forth. In order to be a leader, in order to have thought-provoking change or progress, you need to be a spectrum thinker versus binary or dichotomous thinker. And you want to be basically heard. Everybody wants to be heard. So I'm going to pause there and see if we have any new questions or any more questions coming in, Sandy.
Yes, actually, we do have one for now. Someone has asked, what do you think is the biggest obstacle to diversity in the optical world?
I think the biggest obstacle to diversity is resources. I honestly believe diminishing resources and fear. People fear that, if we hire, and I'm just going to make up a name, Rebecca, and let's say she's a girl, oh my gosh, they're going to come in here and take up all our jobs. Or if Sarah comes in here, she's going to be different like me from me because she's a woman and she happens to be married to another woman. And oh my gosh, and I've never, I don't have any friends like that and so forth. Come on, this is the 21st century. We got to get past that. Guess what? It doesn't matter who somebody loves. It doesn't matter who they worship on Sundays or Saturdays, or if they worship at all. Maybe they don't worship anybody, right? I don't care, right? And you shouldn't care either. That's their business. But I think that is the biggest problem that we have right now is fear of the resources, fear of, if I include this person, then that means there's something taken away from me, which leads us into equity. Everyone has a chance to succeed, regardless of their attributes, right? Allowed to reach their full potential, assumptions removed. We have to remove assumptions. That's the only way we're going to get there. Well, I can't hire Sarah. Well, why is that? Well, she's a girl and she may not understand, working in an optical lab and so forth takes a lot of mechanical thinking and dexterity. And, women just can't do that. I've actually heard that. I've been in this field 30 years. And when I started 30 years ago, it was rare that you would see female laboratory opticians, which is silly, right? It's far silly, very, very silly, right? Thinking about that. But our industry has made some progress over the time, whether it be Black opticians, Asian opticians, white opticians, female opticians, right? We need to get past our own insecurities and fear. I hope everybody agrees with that. If you don't, that's okay too. You're entitled to your own opinion, but you're not entitled to your own facts. We're going to talk about facts. So what is diversity? Diversity is the what, inclusion is the how. What do you mean by that, Phernell? Well, here's what I mean. Diversity is the topic or the subject. Inclusion is how you execute on it. There's the what and the how. Inclusion is, are you valuing those opinions? Are you including them at least in the consideration? I'm not saying you have to agree with it, but even if you don't even consider it, right? Giving the chance, a seat at the table, just to have a voice, to be able to say, hey, I think this. That's thought-provoking. There's something to that, right? Unconscious bias in plain crazy talk. Let's think about some of the unconscious bias that you may or may not have. Phernell, you speak so well. I've actually had people say that to me on a personal level. Phernell, you speak so well. Well, of course I speak so well. I was born here, right? English is my first language. My parents were born here. Their parents were born here. Their parents were born here for the past 200 years. I'm a product of the U.S. English education system. Of course I speak so well. Well, Why wouldn't I speak so well? You're the doctor. I've seen situations where female doctor walks into a room, Asian doctor walks into the room. Ah ha ha ha, where's the doctor? You're the doctor? You're a girl. You did that? Hey, Phernell, it's so great to meet you. I have a black friend. Really? I just have friends, right? So we say some things unconsciously, and this is happening somewhere. I'm not saying you do it or I do it or somebody does, but this is happening. Somebody said that guaranteed today, and they'll say it tomorrow and the next day and yesterday and the day before that. We got to get beyond that. Just have friends. I have an Asian friend. Great. Fantastic. Can we get beyond that and just have friends, right? What's the name of that rap song, Phernell? You know, come on. No, actually, I don't know. I don't listen to rap music. I actually enjoy some country music. I listen to jazz and classical music, right? Hey, John, you live in Iowa or Texas. What kind of truck do you drive? What? Because I live in Iowa or Texas, you assume I drive a truck and I have a hat and a cowboy hat and wear boots? We say crazy stuff, right? So stop with the assumptions once and for all. Treat people the way you want to be treated. Why does diversity matter? Important. Perspective. Basically, having different views allows us to get different perspective to solve problems. Ideation. What does that mean, Phernell? That's a good question. New ideas. In order for us to ideate on ideas to come up with root cause and Six Sigma thinking, right? Spectrum thinking beyond our own echo chamber. We have to hear various ideas to come up with new ideas to get to Mars. Emergence, what is that? Once you go through perspective, ideation emerges to the right conclusion or the best conclusion based upon the facts that we have today. And guess what? What, Phernell? Those facts will continue to change as technology and progress is made even more. All right, Sandy, any other questions so far?
There is one that has just come in. It is, what is the best strategy to deal with management that holds one group to a higher standard than other groups? Example, whites repeatedly held to higher standards than African Americans, or males to higher standards than females.
That is a great question. The way to do that is to have a great HR people, and I would work with your HR team in order to make change. Change takes time. Change doesn't happen overnight. And a standard should be a standard. That's antithetical to what they just said. So what they're saying is, I have a standard, but what you're saying is you have a binary standard. You have two different standards, so that's not a standard, right? So we need to get to a true standard. And who sets standards in a company? HR and leadership. So that needs to be brought up to the HR team. That needs to be brought up to leadership to make sure that you have a single standard and not a binary standard. Does that make sense? Okay, Phernell, why do we care about diversity? We're opticians, right? We're in eye care. Why do we care? You should care. You should care. If you're a business owner, or you sit on a board, or you have stock in companies and so forth, or even just it's the moral thing or ethical thing to do. One of the best classes I ever took years ago was ethics. And I took ethics 1 and 2, and I loved it because it really opened my eyes to the world and even some of my own behaviors, right? In order so I can be more self-aware. I think people aren't self-aware enough. They need to have more self-awareness. In a recent McKinsey report, they found that 95 companies that had a diverse board of directors had a 95% higher return versus a homogeneous one, which everybody's the same, looks the same, all women, all men, all black, all white, all, one age group, right? Because there's age discrimination as well, right? We don't want to hire Tom. Tom is 70 years old, right? Well, why wouldn't you hire Tom? He's got a lot of experience, it sounds like. Maybe Tom is what we need, right? Think outside of your own head and your preconceived ideas. Diverse management team. What they found was 95% of those companies had higher returns versus a homogenous board. And on top of that, those who filtered down to a diverse management team had an even higher 15% higher return on top of that. These are facts. This isn't, opinion or subjective, commentary or whatever. These are actual facts across companies. Why? Why does it matter? Progress requires problem solving for every company, whether you're on a board, whether you're at a company, whether you are at the state level, whether you're at the national level. Our goal is to solve problems. Solving problems requires seeing problem from a different angle. If everybody's raised exactly the same from the exact same area, everybody's drinking the same Kool-Aid and looks the same and acts the same and so forth, you're going to get the same type of thought process. However, if you get people from different perspectives, you can plot better solutions because they use spectrum thinking naturally, because they look at the problem differently, right? 6 Sigma, look it up. We don't have time to go over it now, but it basically, and then the lean process and agile process teaches in order to solve problems, there's a process-driven approach that you must look at. Well, why is that? Well, why is that? 5 whys. Well, why is that? Well, why is that? Why is that? Having diversity forces spectrum thinking to, in order for at least considerations or the possibility of something different, right? Because you know what the truth is? There's more than one answer. Things are not binary. Things are not ones and zeros, right? They're not. They're not dichotomous. They're not at all. They are gray areas. The only thing that is absolute and dichotomous is mathematics. Relationships are not mathematics. Your business relies on math, but it's not mathematics. In math, there's one answer. There's only one answer. In relationships, it's broad. Okay?
So
like a
Phernell,
puzzle.
Questions.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
the first one is a lot of the problems that go unaddressed involves language. You can and will lose customers who need a bilingual employee. I'm in Florida, so in Dade County, you need Spanish for the Hispanic population. In Broward, you need French to capture the Canadian tourists, and it's a demographical issue. So how do you properly communicate to a corporate entity that you need certain bilingual employees?
Bravo. Oh, Sandy, and whoever ventured that question or presented that question rather is spot on. In Vietnamese community is high in Houston, in the Tampa Bay, Florida area where I'm from originally. I went to HCC, just kind of a shout out there for my opticians in Florida. I love Tampa Bay, St. Pete. Basically, yeah, they're absolutely right. So how do you do that? You show them numbers. You track it. That's why we have to track these kind of things. Some people say, "Oh, we shouldn't track it," and isn't that getting away? No, that is nothing more than a detractor. You have to show the cause and effect, and if you can show that it's affecting the bottom line, like McKinsey report showed, which looked at 366 publicly traded companies. Hello, ding, 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 ding. That should tell you something. Like a puzzle, known information allows us to solve unknown information. Think about that. That thought entered my mind this past weekend. A puzzle requires, in order for you to solve a puzzle, you have to have different pieces. And all those pieces are different colors and different shapes and sizes like people, right? But putting that together, you're absolutely able to solve a problem. That's spectrum thinking. Diversity provides more inputs to allow for more perspective. You got to have more inputs. More data is far more exciting and sexier and better than less data. Data is where we can turn data into information, and then with cognitive thinking and diversity and inclusion, we can turn information into intelligence. And that's what we're lacking in a lot of places, because they don't get it. They just see, oh, we need to hire the same people that look like me, the same people that look like Sarah or John or Katie or whomever, right? We need diversity. Otherwise, we're going to get run over in the 21st century, hands down. If you bring these things together, there's elements of successful companies. Apple thinks differently. Together, they do things better, differently. At Apple, we're not all the same. It's our greatest strength. This is Steve Jobs, right? We draw on the differences on who we are, what we've experienced, and how we think. The how, that's the inclusion, right? Because to create products that serve everyone, we believe in including everyone. That's a hell of a statement. Very powerful statement, and it's the right statement. And these are the facts. Vision Council, recent survey, and I'll jump into this, okay? 82% of individuals, these are opticians in a corporate modality, they believe it's important to focus on improving DEI. 61% of individuals responded that they agree the optical industry is committed to improving diversity, equity, and inclusion in the workplace. Would you believe that the passing score is 80%, is 75 to 80%? We are failing, guys. Somebody might look at this and go, hey, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. 6 out of 10 people believe that their company is working towards problem solving. Well, what do you mean by problem solving? Well, we just said diversity, and we've proven that. These aren't my facts. You're not entitled to your own facts. You're entitled to your own opinion, but not your own facts. Shows that diversity allows us to solve problems, and those problems are holding back revenues and profit and progress in enriching all of our lives, from the top CEO and board above him or her all the way down. Why wouldn't you do it? 67% of respondents agreed that the notion that internal communication of their organization institution would support DEI. That means 67%, 6 out of 10 companies don't even think there's a problem. They're not even acknowledging that there is a problem, right? 70, well, and you know what? Maybe at their company, in all fairness, they don't have that problem, but it basically shines a big light and really thinking about how do we get beyond this? How do we get beyond this? 73% of respondents believe their board management team or senior leadership demonstrates a commitment to diversity and equity. That's pretty good. Independents, believe it or not, we're about the same, which is really interesting. Again, I will repeat, I'm very fortunate to work for a great company, and they will even admit, at VSP, that they have a ways to go, and they're working towards that. You look at the ABO, they've done an amazing job at diversifying, being inclusive, looking at all ideas and so forth, because there's good leadership there, right? Progress. And so there's some great examples out there that are happening. So these are the respondents here. If you want this full survey, it's available through the Vision Council, and then they can share that. It goes all the way down to the breakdown of non-white residents, white residents, LGBTQ community, and the diversibility community, which is basically the disabled, right? Maybe it's physically disabled or hearing impaired or visually impaired, and much more. Interestingly enough, the group that felt that we need to have more diversity was strongly in the Caucasian community, that said, hey, we want diversity. We want to embrace this. How do we do it? And it sounds like there's other folks out there, based on the questions, that may feel the same way. Any other questions, Sandy?
Yes, we do have one. How do we use our money to promote a more equitable agenda in our industry?
I love that question. One of the things that's being done is the Open Your Eyes, and the Vision Council has put together and put a lot of money into education plans and scholarships. And if you want to learn more about that, you can reach out to Mr. Terrence Lackren, who's on the Vision Council. He can talk about that and so forth. But money has actually been put aside and put into different funds, and the 15% promise or the 13% promise, in order for us to basically advance, going in communities, going out, reaching out to folks and mentorship programs. There's a lot of things that can be done out there to make a difference. The road ahead, we've got a long way to go. If we know that, if we know that diversity and inclusion can improve our bottom line, and we do it the right way, and we do it transformative versus transactional relationships, and we create a true understanding of who people are and reaching across the aisle to meet and really talk with people, we can make a difference. We can put we could put people on the moon Mars. So why wouldn't we do these things and come up with some success? I want to share a personal story with you in the remaining minutes that we have.
And we have about 10 minutes, okay?
Oh, perfect. So I've got plenty of time. I want to share a personal story with you. Most of you know me, and for those of you who don't, I'll just quickly tell you. Again, I'm Phernell Walker. I've been in optics this is my 30th year in optics. So I've been in optics 30 years, and I've seen a lot of change, a lot of progress has been made. I'm a master optician, ABO certified, NCLE certified, practical exam certified. I recommend everybody do that. If you haven't done that, you need to do that. So important. Get your ABO practical exam certification, NCLE practical exam certification. I have a degree from Hillsborough Community College. I have an MBA from Merrillhurst University in Portland, Oregon, and some other things. Okay, and written a book, Pure Optics, and 2 books actually, and some other things. With all of that, how did that start? How did all that start? I'm going to tell you a quick story. And I called this Don't Limit Me. When I was in high school, 31 years ago, about 31 and a half years ago, I was told, hey, Phernell, we want you to come to Career Day. We think that we've got some careers we want to share with all the students and all the people. And I said, great, I'm excited by this. My grades were pretty good. They weren't the best, right? But I was a pretty good kid. I studied hard. I was trying to reach my full potential, just like any other kid. I never went to parties. I was a band geek. No surprise for all my other optical geeks out there, right? I play trumpet, and I still play trumpet. And I enjoyed that, being a band geek and so forth. And so I sat down, and the counselor said to me, we've got a list of things, but we think that you would make an excellent bus driver. And I was thinking to myself, okay, so my life is going to be a bus driver. Now, not taking anything away from bus drivers, because we need good bus drivers. We need those people. They do a great job. That takes a lot of responsibility, accountability, and so forth. But I wasn't really excited about that profession and so forth for whatever reason. You can imagine. And I didn't allow that to influence my thinking. I didn't have somebody to tell me, hey, you should go into optics, right? I stumbled upon that while serving in the Army, the United States Army. And then after getting out of the Army, as I mentioned before, going to school, and then going back to school because I became an ophthalmic technician, then going back to school again to get my degree in optics from Hillsborough Community College, from where I'm from, Tampa, Florida. Awesome school. And then progressing with all the other things in my life. And I was actually told, hey, Phernell, and just think, if you work really hard, after 15, 20 years, you could be the supervisor, the head bus driver. What do you think? Isn't this great? And I thought, no, that's not so great. Don't limit me. How many people are you limiting as in your conversations? Do you limit them or not even give them a chance? What if an opportunity for me to go to school didn't exist? What if I didn't stumble upon, ophthalmic optics the way I have? My life would be very different. And I can tell you for a fact, I love ophthalmic optics. I love being an optician. I love being a master optician. I love what I do. I'm proud of our profession. We change the lives of people each and every day. But just think, if somebody did not give me a chance. Now I want you to turn the tables. We're going to flip the script. What if somebody wouldn't have given you a chance? What if you were told, hey, Sandy, hey, John, hey, Kurt, hey, Bob, hey, Rebecca, hey, Terrence, you could be a bus driver. And what's even worse is, what if you believed it? What if you believed it? I believed in myself. I believed investing back in me. I believed in educating myself through education. I believed by climbing up, pulling myself up by my bootstraps, growing up very poor. First pair of glasses came from Lions Club, rode the city bus to get there. I talk about that in my blog on Pure Optics, pure-optics.com. I have a blog on there if you want to see more short stories about life. And also that was featured by the Vision Council this month. So don't let people limit you. And I want you to ask yourself, are you a dream catcher or a dream killer? I want you to think about, how can you be a dream catcher? Maybe there is somebody that isn't the best optician in the world, but they have potential. Maybe you need to mentor that person, show leadership instead of throwing them away. Give them the opportunity. Maybe send them to school through a program. You can go to opticianry school online. There are NFOS, National Federation of Opticianry Schools around the country. Help them towards getting their ABO certification, which is incredibly important. And if you're in a licensed state, I want to encourage you to go back and maintain your ABO as well. That's just as important. We have to protect our profession and bring people up, include everybody, bring them to the table. But that can't happen until we all become dream catchers and spread the love. Here are my takeaways, and we'll wrap it up. I want you to ask yourself, am I there yet? I want you to ask yourself, is my organization there yet? How can you make a commitment to lead in the 21st century? Do you use spectrum thinking, or do you use binary thinking? Oh, must be black. Nope, not black, must be white. It's not up, must be down. Must be male, female. Well, maybe there's an in-between, maybe neither, right? So people have choice. Respect people for who they choose to be, who they choose to love, what they or where they worship, and so forth. None of that matters, and it shouldn't matter. It shouldn't even enter your mind. Create a diversity, equity, and inclusion plan. That's important to bring people to the table, or continue to be on the wrong side of history and get run over. Review your plan annually. Monitor the pulse of your organization. What's the pulse? Does it have a heartbeat, or is it a cemetery? Is it living in the past, right? Is this, 1800? Is this 1900? Is this 2000? No, this is 2020, like Pete, or 2021, like Pete Hanlon mentioned this morning, good friend of mine. He said, hey, live in the present. You want to live in the present, or you want to live in the past? In the present, it's a new world. You need to embrace it. What opportunities have I missed? Well, by not having a diverse company or friends and so forth, you might be missing out on a lot of great things. Okay, lastly, we'll open it up for final questions.
I don't see any as of yet.
Okay, maybe somebody's got hands raised or anything at all.
Yeah,
anything
if you have your
you're
hand
thinking
raised,
about.
please put your question in the Q&A or the chat.
Yeah.
So we do have one question. Shouldn't DEI must include effective mentorship programs to help development?
Awesome. Yes. Mentorship is super, super important, because without people being able to see and having someone to look up to, how do I become a speaker? I hear this all the time, Phernell, how do I become a speaker? And so recently I've been working with people to try to mentor them to become an ABO and NCLE speaker, going off to underprivileged areas, maybe donating your time. I donate my time with Lions Club and so forth, and do a lot of outreach and so forth, making people aware of the profession. Maybe you want to go on a career day and talk to people about opticianry and the importance of opticians and what opticians do. Some people don't even know we exist, right? They think that opticians, we basically, are like a profession, from 100 years ago, right? They're not aware. So all of these things are important. Mentorship, spending your time, and really really think about this. Just have friends. Just give people a chance. Let people be a part of the team. You don't know, because they may be able to solve some problems, some very complicated problems. Think ideation, like I mentioned before. If I have a problem, I find the root cause and I think about it and I plot a solution. I can't plot a solution until I consider all variables. If I can only consider 3 variables, I can only have 3 possibilities or combinations. What if I included people that look at the problem very differently? They can help me do ideation in order to be able to modify that and come up with an even better solution to put a rocket and a rover and even a helicopter on the moon. So,
hey, Phernell, hate to interrupt, but we are at time.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Sandy. Thank you to the Opticians Association of America. And thank all of you for joining me today. Have a great day.